Hello, Latin 1. Guess what? We are about to start stage 13. You're going to be meeting in this lesson, this video, the new characters of the new book. And the first one, even though you're not going to hate him in this video, you're going to hate him in upcoming stories. Let's get started. As I've said in the introductory video, my advice to you is write out all the Latin by hand and attempt your own translation and then compare it to the video and make corrections as necessary. All of this video is for the entire week, so either do it all at once and then restudy it each time we meet, or maybe do it in portions, whatever works best for your schedule. Hic vir est Gaius Salvius Liberalis. This man, est, is, and then here's his name. Remember, a good Roman has three names: Gaius Salvius Liberalis. We haven't had anything so far that's new, but remember, you learned last week the irregular verbs possum, volo, and nolo, and they're going to appear soon. Salvius in villa magnifica habitat. Go ahead and translate. On to your verb, habitat. Lives. Where does he live? In villa magnifica. In a magnificent house. The house, villa. Where is it? Ubi est? Villa est in Britannia. The house is in Britannia, and that's where we get the word Britain. That's right. We are now moving to Britain for book 2. Next sentence. Salvius multos servos habet. Salvius has, what does he have? Multos servos. Remember, that distinctive O ending in Latin can only be one thing. It's the accusative plural of a second declension noun. Salvius has many slaves. Uxor est Rufilla. Go ahead and look up uxor if you don't know it. His wife is Rufilla. Now, why do I have his in parentheses there? It's because it's not in the Latin, but remember, when context makes it clear, you can always feel free to add things like his or my, etc. His wife is Rufilla. Now, let me just tell you, you already heard a reference to Rufilla. Do you remember back in the story when they went on the boar hunt and Metella was visiting her sister? Well, guess what? Rufilla is Metella's sister. That's the connection with this story. Rufilla multas ancillas habet. Rufilla has, what does Rufilla have? Multas ancillas, many slave girls. Ancillae in villa laborant. What do the slave girls do? In villa laborant. Work in the house. Hic servus est Varica. Still, Latin 1, there's nothing new so far. None of the irregular verbs that we learned last week, possum, to be able or can, volo, to want, or nolo, to not want, have appeared, but they will soon. Hic servus est Varica. This slave is Varica. Varica est villicus. Again, this sentence is exactly the same structure as the first sentence you ever learned in Latin. Caecilius est pater. Caecilius is the father. Varicus est villicus. Varica is the slave manager. Villicus villam et servos curat. The slave manager takes care of the house and the slaves. Hic servus est Philus. This slave, and you've learned in the Cambridge series, when we have capital letters, that is either a name or a nationality. So this is his name. This slave is Philus. Philus calidus est. If you don't know the word calidus, look it up, and then you'll be able to translate that sentence. Philus is clever. Look, Latin one, look, here it is, New Latin. This is why we learned it last week. We now have the irregular verb potest, to be able. If you don't remember the forms, go back and review from my tutorial video. Potest means can. Philus can count, or Philus is able to count. So you take this verb, and it's almost always going to be at the end of the sentence, by the way. And then it always works with an infinitive. Infinitives are the forms of the verb that end with an re. So you learned numerat, counts. Now, numerare, to count. Put it all together. Philus can count, or Philus is able to count. Hic servus est volubilis. This slave is volubilis. Volubilis quoquus optimus est. Volubilis is quoquus optimus. You know that. An excellent cook. So on some levels, volubilis is going to be the Grumio of Book 2, except that he's not drunk. Volubilis, here we go again. Look, irregular verb. So go ahead and think it through. Potest means can. Now you're going to look for your infinitive. That's what he can do. Here it is. Here's the re. You learned the verb coquit, means cooks. Now you know coquere, to cook. Volubilis can cook, or is able to cook. And then, just like we always learned, we have this accusative object. Here's what he is able to cook. A cenam optimam, an excellent dinner. Hic servus est bregans. This slave is bregans. Bregans non calidus est. Bregans is not clever. Bregans numerare non potest. Bregans cannot count, or is not able to count. Now there is a verb, nequire, which means to not be able, but it's pretty rare. The most common way to say not be able is just to add non to the verb possum. Bregans cannot count. Bregans fessus est. Bregans is tired. And now, look what we have here. Here's another one of the irregular verbs we learned last week. Vult is the third person singular present tense of the verb to want. So Bregans wants. What Bregans wants is again expressed through an infinitive. You learned dormit, sleeps. Now you know dormire, to sleep. Put it together. Bregans wants to sleep. Hic servus est loquax. This slave is loquax. Now, the word loquax basically just means talkative. Loquax vocem suavem habet. Look up the words if you need to. Translate on your own. Loquax has a sweet voice. Now, if suavem means sweet, take a wild guess. The adverb suaviter. You know that fortiter means bravely, so suaviter is an adverb formed off suavem. So if suavem means sweet, take a wild guess what suaviter means. And now look, you're going to translate another irregular verb. Put it all together. Look up, if you need to, in the dictionary, the verb cantat. Now the infinitive cantare. How would you translate loquax suaviter cantare potest? Loquax can sing sweetly, is able to sing sweetly. Hic servus est antiloquax. This slave is antiloquax. Now you're going to learn at the end of this that they're twins. Can you imagine how sad it is? Your name is basically not the other one. Okay, so like your brother's name is Loquax, and you're like not Loquax. That's just horrible. Wild guess, before we do it. Don't even look it up. Wild guess, wild guess. Loquax agilis est. Loquax is agile. Now, I hope you're getting more comfortable with these irregular verbs, and you know if you're going to go look up this verb saltare in the dictionary, you're going to be looking, the infinitive is the form you use. What can loquax do? Loquax can dance very well. Saltare. It means to jump and to dance. Loquax et antiloquax sunt gemini. Loquax and antiloquax are twins. Obviously, the astrological sign, the Gemini, which means twins. It's just simply the Latin word for twins. Okay, last sentence of this lesson. Salvius multos servos habet. Salvius has many slaves. Servi laborant. The slaves work. Servi ignavi et feci sunt. The slaves are lazy and tired. Finally, here it is, folks. Another of our irregular verbs. The Latin verb to not want is a contraction of the word known and the verb to want. And anytime you have a VO in the verb to want, you contract the known and the woe into know. If you're not sure about that still, go back and review my tutorial video on the verb nolo. So, servi laborare nolunt means the slaves don't want to work. Okay, Latin 1, again, the material in this video, it's for your whole week. Study it very well and be ready the last time you meet, which in your case is Thursday, for a Socrative assessment on just the material in this video. I am in a Google Hangout anytime your class is meeting if you want to come and ask questions. Be well. Walete.